Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm doing a speech about infertility and the struggles that women and men alike have with infertility. Although we are able to treat it, many women and men go through it. So I want to have a trigger warning for people who are trying to conceive and are unable to. I want you to know that you are heard because I am one of those women who had to have to go through that. Starting a family is a normalized American dream. As children, we played house with our friends, siblings, cousins, whomever we can play with. Our imagination thrived off pretending to be a mom, a dad, the baby, a strange uncle, anyone we could figure out how to be, anyone who was a part of our own families. We assumed we became pregnant if we kissed someone of the opposite sex, or if we shared a snack. Years later, we found out what really happened. The deed used to make a child. Although we tried to abstain, we knew people who did become pregnant and it was easy for them. As we got older, you figure out it's not as easy as it sounds. Your friends and family are able to get pregnant while you are left in the dust. When we became the adults, got married, and we wanted the family, the bills became piling up. It was too expensive. Fertility treatment is not enough. Around 1 in 6 women worldwide struggle with infertility. I am one of those 6. I have PCOS, or polycystic ovary syndrome. That means that I have a hormonal imbalance that allowed my body to not have a natural occurring cycle. So instead of 30 to 35 days, I could go anywhere from 10 to 15 to 55 to 90. I didn't know when I would be in my fertile window. I didn't know when I was able to conceive. Getting a diagnosis took many doctors and many doctor's appointments. I needed medication to ovulate. I had to do something called a medicated cycle, which meant that I had to take medicine to start a period and medicine to become in my fertile window. My fertile window was what was making me be able to not get pregnant. I became pregnant within 2 cycles, and it was easy, but it's uncomparable to those that my friends and family had to go through. It can be hard on your marriage and your mindset when you're asked when your next child will be, or if you're going to be able to have your first child. Especially hard going through the steps in order to get the treatment after you're diagnosed. Being diagnosed takes multiple steps. You need to go through multiple exams and tests. Men and women both can be infertile. Women and men both get blood tests to test their genetics and their hormones, while men just get a semen analysis to determine whether their semen is of quality, whether it's in numbers, or in the livelihood of how long their sperm lasts to get to the egg. Women go through ultrasounds and an HSG test. This HSG test is done in the doctor's office, and what you do is you lay down on a table and you get contrast put into your uterus to see if your fallopian tubes and your uterus are clear of any blockages. It hurts, and it's not easy to go through. There are many different diagnoses that you can receive once your testing is complete. However, there are 3 main treatments you may choose to get. But just because there are treatments does not mean that it works for everyone, whether or not you're infertile or not. You may get a treatment that works, but you also may not be able to use treatments. The 3 main treatments are IVF, IUI, and medicated cycles. Having already discussed the medicated cycles, I'm going to move on to IUIs, which is intrauterine insemination. What this is when a man gives his sperm to the doctors as in a collected cup, and it is inserted into the woman and allowed for an easier natural occurrence of sperm and egg to meet. Now, this is not a guarantee of pregnancy, but it brings up the possibility of becoming pregnant. IVF is known as in vitro fertilization. What this is a woman undergoes a procedure where an egg is removed from her ovaries and taken into a lab. Here, it is fertilized with the sperm and allowing allows an embryo to grow. When that embryo is grown, you are able to have it inserted to the woman's uterus and wait for it to become a fetus. This procedure is usually a last-ditch effort for men and women who are trying to get pregnant. The reason? It costs $22,000. This is not something that every man or woman is able to pull out of their pocket. Although men and women alike have the opportunity to have fertility treatment, not every cycle will be treated successfully. Not every cycle will be successful. This is one of those things where you are unable to have a right answer 100% of the time. Although your chances of conceiving become higher, it's not a guarantee, nor will it ever be. We should take a moment and respect those around us, of whom we know, who we may or may not be going through the cycle of trial and tribulation. Fertility can hurt anyone, whether we know they're going through it or not. We should never ask a woman, a man, or a man whether or not they're going to be able to have children or when they will. We don't know whether or not they're trying their hardest and it's just not able to happen.